I thought PSW placement was the same everywhere, but then I entered the hospital unit and I realized nope, it is totally different from the long term care and retirement home. Now, you've been hearing about PSW placement, and you're probably wondering, what is this placement all about? Well, in this video, I am going to be telling you all you need to know about PSW placement, whether you're posted to a retirement home, a long term care, or an hospital. So, before we dive into placements, please, if you know you've not subscribed to this channel, please, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe to my channel. I am trying to hit 1K subscribers. So please help a sister, subscribe, like, share. So first and foremost, this is a part 2 of my PSW series. Okay. So the first part, my part 1, I've actually uploaded that video, is on my YouTube right now. So please, if you've not watched the part 1 of this video, I would suggest you go back to watch the part 1 so that you could fully understand the part 2 of this PSW video. So I'm just going to be putting the link up there. You can click up the link and go and watch that video. So let's talk about the courses I took for my second semester as a PSW student. So there are two major courses you're going to take. One, palliative care, and then the second one is dementia care. So firstly, palliative care is just basically all about how you're going to take care of your patients, like most patients that have already given up in life. Probably they're having cancer, they're having tumor, those kind of disease that, oh, they think, oh, this is the end of the world, oh, there's nothing more to life. So you as a PSW, you put in your scope of practice and then you talk to the patients or your residents, wherever you're being posted to for placement. You probably speak to the families of these patients, give them emotional support. Very, very important. Just put in your practice, put in your scope as a PSW. So that's what that course palliative is all about, being there for your patients in their most vulnerable moments. So let's talk about dementia care, the second course. So dementia care, we all basically know what dementia is, like when you lose a certain part of your memories. And most of these residents, a lot of them have lost their whole memory. You get, some are trying to still remember their siblings, some can partially remember. So it's left for you as the PSW to probably advise family members, oh, you can bring in some family pictures or some of or probably their certificates since they've achieved in life for them to remember, so that when they wake up in the morning, they see their family photo or their family frame in the wall and they tend to like remember, oh, this is my child, or this is my husband, this is my sibling. So that is basically what dementia is all about. And another thing, do not take things personal. A lot of them, they've forgotten who their kids are and they can probably mistakenly call you their child, or they might probably hate you because they think you are someone that did them wrong in the past. So basically, so I think for dementia patients, if you're taking care of dementia patient, do not take things personal. The third course I took, which was physical, was supportive theory. Now, if you've watched the part 1 of this video, you would know I talked about supportive theory part 1. So this is supportive theory part 2. Now, this one is more a little bit intense. A lot of people were having issues, especially when it comes to the practical aspect, because we were given a lot of things to practice and all that. So for supportive theory, this is what we were taught in the lab. Firstly, we're taught 10 rights of medications. The second thing, we were taught ostomy bag, how to change your patient's ostomy bag. And then we're also taught how to operate patient's oxygen. Probably if the oxygen is not in the right way, if your patient is on the hospital gown and you want to like change the hospital gown and the patient have an IV on his wrist, what are you going to do basically? So we're basically taught how to remove the IV through the hospital gown basically. So I think those were basic things we were taught for supportive theory in the lab. So the fourth thing we did was clinical placement. So the clinical placement was actually for 2 days. I don't know about your college, but my college did it for just 2 days basically. So the clinical placement, what is it all about? It's all about real life scenario. Probably now, if you've watched the first video, you know what I'm talking about. That's why you need to go watch the first video. Now, this scenario, the college is going to bring in elders and they're basically going to act like a patient. So they're going to pretend, probably if the elder they brought in have dementia, so they're just going to, it's basically like acting a drama. So the elder is going to act like he has dementia and then they're going to give you the responsibility. Okay, you as a PSW, how are you going to apply your scope to this dementia patient. Your professor is going to score you based on that. She's going to watch you from afar. How are you going to react when a dementia patient is trying to abuse you? Now let's talk about the placements. Placement one and placement two. My first placement, I did it in a retirement home, and then my second placement, I was posted to an hospital. So here is the difference. Now, one thing you should know, you cannot choose where you want to be placed to. I don't know about your college, but my college, they normally choose where they want to post you to. So that's what you should know. So my first placement, retirement home, this is how it works. So when I was posted to my retirement home, you are given a supervisor that is going to supervise you for the 4 days you are going to be there. Now, my placement lasted for a month, but in that month, I normally go there every Wednesday in a week, making it 4 Wednesdays. So during those 4 Wednesdays, I go there and I spend 12 hours there. You are meant to spend 12 hours in your placement. So your supervisor is there to supervise you and guide you. Probably if you're having things, you're finding things difficult in the retirement home, wherever you're posted to, you can report to your supervisor. The supervisor goes around and hangs about how your behavior is, if you are nice or if you are learning fast or if you are communicating properly to the residents. So that was all about it for placement one. And one thing I would say about retirement home, you get to bond with the residents because that place is now basically their home. They literally don't go anywhere. So the more you go there every day, the more you bond with them, the more you communicate. That's one thing for sure in the retirement home. And then you get to know what your resident eats, what your resident like. Probably if your resident like waking up by 9, you let your resident to wake by 9 basically. So now you now know that, oh, this resident likes waking up by 9. So you don't get to like disturb that resident basically. So that's what one thing I learned in a retirement home. For second placement too has more responsibility basically. So I was posted to the hospital, which is so much different compared to where I was coming from, the retirement home. Now in the hospital, you work with the healthcare team, quite different from the retirement home. You have to report to the nurse, report to the doctors, report to your PSW, which is your supervisor in charge. And also you have to document whatever patient you attend to. If you gave the patient a bath, if you gave the patient a care, whatever thing you did with the patient, you have to document. You document the time. So just as my first placement, I was also given a supervisor that was there to supervise me. So basically, I go there every single day in 3 weeks. Yeah, it was really, 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 really tough. It was kind of stressful compared to the first placement. You're going to get tired at some point, but you just got to keep going, right? So I went there every single day in a week and I spent 8 hours. I go there 6:30 and then I leave there at 2:30 basically. Now there's a logbook that is provided for you. In that logbook, your supervisor is going to be signing in your hours. So every hour, every each day you work 8 hours, your supervisor is going to sign and they're going to tick it. Make sure you print out log hours and give it to your supervisor because it is very important for your final evaluation. Now, there are two types of evaluation for your second placement. There is midterm evaluation and then there's final evaluation. For the midterm evaluation, someone from your college is going to call you. Then they're going to ask you just some few basic questions. Oh, how are you doing? How are you coping? How is the hospital? How is the experience like? Are you learning? Basic questions for them to really know that, oh, you are actually in that place doing your placement. So that was hard for the midterm. Then for the final placement, you have to submit your log hours. You have to work for 45 hours and then you submit it through your mail. And also your supervisor in charge will also have our own copy of that logbook and also submit. Now, the reason why your supervisor needs to also submit log hours is for your school to be sure that you're actually doing your placement. So if your supervisor do not submit our own copy, then the school won't mark you present in your placement. Now, things I learned and things I love about working in the hospital, you get to meet different set of people. You get to meet different nurses. You get to meet doctors. You get to meet PSW. You also get to meet different PSW students that are doing placement and also nursing students doing placement from different colleges. And you get to bond and communicate with people. There are a lot of benefits working in the hospital. If you want to further in your career and start nursing and all that, hospital is the best place for you to do your placement because you get to see a lot of different activities. You get to watch them changing ostomy bag, changing IV. You get to watch them working on the oxygen. You get to see different types of things, different types of cases. You get to be working with different type of cases basically. So I think hospital will be the best place if you want to further your career or if you want to move into nursing career. Hospital is going to be the best place for your placement. A disadvantage is working in the hospital compared to the retirement home. Like I said, in the retirement home, you get to bond with the residents because that is basically now their home. So you come in and you see them every single day. You see the same face every single day. So they get to know you more and you get to know them more. But in the hospital is quite different. Like I said, in the hospital, people come, people go, people get discharged, people stay, people leave basically. So in the hospital, you don't get to bond with them as much as you get to bond in the retirement home. So every single day you expect new faces in the hospital. Like when I was doing my placement there, every single day when I go, they'll tell me, oh, the patient has been discharged. So you have a new patient. So this is the file. This is the record of the patient. Just go through it. And I'm like, here we go again, like a new face, a new case, a new documentation, a new, you just got to know the person all over again. So that's one disadvantage working in the hospital. Now, another very, very important thing when you're working in the hospital, please make sure you read signs before entering any patient's door. Follow protocol, make sure you follow precaution. Very important. Probably, if a patient requires your full PPE, make sure you're going with your full PPE. And what do I mean by full PPE? I mean going with your hospital gown, going with your gloves, going with your face mask, and probably if you need a face glasses, please go in with your full PPE. Very important. You need to protect yourself as well as protect the patient as well. Another important thing you should know is that your patient privacy should be your top priority. Please, I know it's very exciting as a PSW, or you're very excited being in the hospital, being in long term care, or you're doing your placements, you are feeling like, oh, you're working, or probably stuff like that. I get it, it's exciting, but as much as it's exciting, you need to prioritize your patients or your resident privacy. Please do not go in taking picture of your resident. Do not go in doing mirror selfie. Do not go in, don't take video, don't do anything. As a matter of fact, your phone should not even be with you when you're attending or working with a patient for you to avoid transferring infection or disease, bacteria and all that. So privacy is very important. Communication. Now let's talk about communication. Communication is very, very important in the hospital, wherever you are being posted to. You need to communicate with the nurses, communicate with the PSWs, communicate in the hospital. As a matter of fact, wherever you are working, wherever you are going to be posted to, communicate with the people around you. You never can tell. You can get opportunities from them. You can get to learn from there. Like they said, a closed mouth is a closed destiny. So you need to communicate with the healthcare team. Now, for retirement and hospital, both taught me two very important things. For retirement home, consistency and relationship care, and for the hospital, protocols and safety. I have officially graduated from the PSW program, and these are my grades. Everything I shared in part one and part two is what helped me succeed. If you're in Canada or you're planning to come to Canada, watch both videos because they will help you go through it all. So we finally come to the end of this video. To my returning subscribers, thank you for always returning back. And to my new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. So please, you all, don't forget to like, share, comment down below. Whatever question you want to ask me concerning the PSW program, just comment down below and you know I would always reply. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.